The Application Lifecycle Risk Management Podcast, Episode 28, CSS Animation Resources. This week I discovered CSS Animations. Well, I shouldn't say I discovered it so much as I finally spent some time figuring out what it is and why I would care about it. This can make so much of what we normally do in JavaScript entirely unnecessary. So, more for my own benefit than anything else, I thought today I would just create a list of resources that are available. But first, why would you want to use CSS for animation when JavaScript could do just as well? Well, first, CSS and HTML live in the same world. As I mentioned a few weeks ago when I discussed JavaScript performance, anytime you manipulate the DOM from JavaScript, you have to cross the HTML-JavaScript boundary. And to do it right, you have to make sure that you work in sync with the keyframes that the DOM is living in. If you don't, at best, you will be animating way more than you need to. On a phone, this can eat up precious battery life. For me, this is the biggest reason. But declarative code is also easier to read. I realize that some of you may disagree with this, but my feeling is, if I can express in one line what it would take a loop in JavaScript to do, I'll take the one line of code. This is one of the things that makes Angular attractive. I can create my own HTML tags. Why not get the same benefit from my CSS? Now, there are some reasons why you might not want to use animated CSS. First, it's relatively new, and it may not do everything you want it to do. So, you may have to resort to using JavaScript for at least some of the things you want to do. Second, it may not support all of the browsers that you need to support. So, here are the resources. CSS generators. There's a couple CSS generators that I found. One is called CSS Animate, and the other is CSS3 Maker. Now, some things you might want to do. One of the things that we commonly do on our websites is use an accordion. And there's a couple, actually several accordions out there. One from Bradshaw Enterprises, another from James T. Another from Martin Avino, and one from the CSS Ninja. Menus. There's a place called CSS Menu, and they have a lot of variations on menus there that you can check out. And then there's another site called the Menu Maker. And then finally, slideshows. There's one that has an infinitely scrolling slideshow. And there's another one with one at a time that you can check out. When I first suggested CSS Animations to a designer friend of mine, he reacted as though I was suggesting putting a flash animation on a website. Obviously, we wouldn't want to do that, but we probably could. But we want to use animation in some pretty creative ways, and we've been doing it all along with the JavaScript. So the next time you reach for JavaScript to add some sort of animated stuff to your website, do a search for CSS Animation instead. Don't forget to rate this show in iTunes and Stitcher. What's Stitcher? Stitcher is an award-winning free app that lets you listen to all your favorite shows, plus discover from 20,000 news, entertainment, and sports shows. Create custom playlists. Available on the iOS, Android, and Nook. No downloading, no syncing, no wasted memory. Don't have Stitcher? Download it free today at Stitcher.com or in the App Store. And for the links to items mentioned in this podcast, make sure you check out my blog at blog.dmbcllc.com. A link to this article is in the show description.